Bruce Lee is a cultural icon, but even icons have mentors. For Bruce, one of them was Oakland native Alan Joe.
Bruce learned a great deal from Alan, and really it was because of Alan that he started using weights. Before that, he had not really learned weights, and he learned the proper way to use weights and build up his body. So it really all started with Uncle Alan.
It hit by itself, you don't think. My name is Alan Joe, and I was born in Oakland in July 31st, 1923. Uppercut.
He was a skinny young boy growing up poor and fatherless in Oakland's Chinatown. But Alan's life changed when he came across a Charles Atlas bodybuilding ad while reading a comic book.
I was being bullied, I said. So I saw Charles Atlas magazine. This guy kicked sand in his face, and then I thought, hey, maybe I can build myself up. That's how I get started. It was a springboard, you know. You get two springs, you get strong, you put the string, and then you spring, then you pull in the door. You do also exercise. So that made me feel pretty good.
His passion to build up his body led Alan to become friends with Ed Yerrick, who ran a well-known gym in Oakland.
It's more like a father to me, because he took a liking to me. What he taught me was exercise is very important, the first thing, and never try to get into trouble. So that's one thing, so I always remember that.
Besides Alan, Yerrick's students included Steve Reeves, who would go on to play Hercules in the movies, and Tommy Kono, a four-time Mr. Universe and a two-time Olympic gold medalist in weightlifting. Yerrick was also a workout partner for physical fitness legend Jack LaLanne. Alan became friends with all of them.
Because we all come from the same gym. Yeah. See, at Yerrick, treat everybody the same. We do everything a natural way, no drug, no nothing. Everything is just natural. So before steroid comes around, so everybody, oh man.
While attending Oakland Tech High School, Alan joined the tumbling team. He used his muscular physique to attract the love of his life, Annie.
There wasn't anybody that looked like that, you know, and of course, you know, that's impressive. All the girls always tell me, gee, you know, Alan looks so good, and look what he's doing, and all that. That impressed me, you know. My friends telling me that, oh, he's a pretty good guy, you know. Of course, it isn't bad that he's nice looking too.
And she was cute, and she was very popular with the boys. So I like her. No, nobody gonna take her but me. So I guess I scare all the boys away from her. They know I can beat them up, so they don't mess with me. So they, little by little, they shy away.
In 1941, Alan was drafted into the Army, but before leaving, Annie gave him a jade ring for protection. He would wear that ring for the rest of his life. I
bought it with my mother, and I said, it's for good luck. So, and it protects and all that. Okay, so I gave that to him to, you know, keep him from harm's way.
Alan was the only Asian American in his unit. While stationed in New Guinea, he continued to work out and do gymnastics. For weights, he would use makeshift metal parts.
I got in good with the motor pool, with the broken tubes and the axle and any piece of metal, you know. And then I put it together, get a bar, and then they want to work out, so that's how they help me to get all the weights together.
Despite being in great shape, Alan came down with dengue fever and nearly died. But his dream of returning home to marry Annie helped him recover.
That's what keep me going, is that I gotta come back home.
A fine artist, Alan would draw romantic pictures for her. He even addressed her letters to Mrs. Alan Joe, even though they weren't yet married.
My brother said, "Are you married?" It never dawned on him that, my brother would see the envelope and ask me, So I had to later on tell him, don't write that way. Oh, he's a very romantic person, Alan. You know what? Even my grandkids laugh when they giggle when they see Grandma, Pa is kissing Grandma. Oh, they always get the kiss. Look. Every party or something, he would do that. He's very affectionate.
They would get married on January 24th, 1946 in Oakland. Annie remembers him coming home from the war.
I was so excited. I had a special hat made, but it had the things that I want on the hat. Those days hats were important. So we had hats, and I had all kinds of jewels on it. And when he came in, all he did was grab me and hug me and kiss me and knock my hat off. My hat.
Alan opened a grocery store in Berkeley, but continued to work out. In 1946, Yarrick encouraged him to enter the Mr. Northern California contest. He did, and he won, becoming the first Chinese-American bodybuilding champion.
Annie was there also. So, and then when I won, and Edgar was so happy. I think we all celebrated.
Alan also competed in the 1954 Mr. Chinatown bodybuilding contest. While he didn't win, he did place in the top 3. Soon after, his best friend James Lee got him to take up martial arts.
Oh, he and James are just like brothers. I think that James had a lot to do with Alan's character, changing his way. Because it's so amazing. No matter what James does, Alan is into it too, and they don't even know that each other is doing the same thing. They both have the same taste. I was simply flabbergasted. James doing it too.
In 1962, after hearing about a young man named Bruce Lee teaching Cha-Cha and demonstrating martial arts in San Francisco, James told Alan to check him out while he was visiting the World's Fair in Seattle. At the time, Bruce was working and living at a Chinese restaurant in Seattle called Ruby Chow. Alan recalls their first meeting.
And Bruce came in the back way of the restaurant, and he comes in all dressed up in a gray suit. And then I say, that's Bruce? He looked like more of a model instead of a martial artist,
Jeff Chin was a longtime friend of Alan's and owns one of the biggest collections of Bruce Lee memorabilia in the world.
Bruce told Alan to stand right in the middle of the lawn, which is in front of the restaurant, and told him, can you show me some of your Chinese Kung Fu? So Alan said, okay. So Alan got into a stance and then did some forms. And then Bruce just kind of looked at him with a puzzled look and said, okay, Alan, I want you to give me a straight punch. So Alan did. And Bruce Lee did this move, which is common in Wing Chun, in which you block it, and then you take him down in one motion. And Alan told me that Bruce did it so hard that he thought that he had whiplash, and he thought that Bruce pulled his arm out of his socket. And I don't know if Alan's joking or not, but he said to this day, I still have pain in my shoulder area.
In part because of his friendship with Alan, Bruce soon moved to Oakland, where he opened up his first Kung Fu studio. During his free time, he often stopped by Alan's grocery store to visit. He killed time by drawing pictures on butcher paper.
And Alan actually said, though, they were all beautiful. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, Bruce Lee took all the drawings and he crumpled them up and he threw them away. And Alan, to this day, wishes that he had took them out of the trash and kept them and framed them because you know, it was very special.
Despite Alan being 17 years older, they became great friends.
They just hit it off right away because they were both so interested in physical culture and martial arts, and they just talked all the time. You know, the many things that Alan had endured throughout his life as far as prejudice, and there was always a bit of that that Bruce could learn from him about how to handle that and live in an American community. And so that, and of course then with the weightlifting also. And they worked out together, you know, doing Jeet Kune Do all the time.
The Joe and Lee families became close. This photo shows Annie and two of her children with Bruce's wife Linda and their children Brandon and Shannon.
Alan was really a role model for Bruce. He had a lovely family and wonderful wife and children, and Bruce admired that, and he wanted that in his life too.
The funniest thing is that, Alan, someday I will be a household word. I say, what's that? Oh, like Coca-Cola, everybody knows. I say, you're kidding me.
Why you?
In 1966, Bruce's career got a big boost when he landed the role of Kato on the Green Hornet. Alan, James, and another good friend, George Lee, were invited to come visit the set in Hollywood.
It's amazing. The car, they cut in half and they move the screen. The screen moved, the car don't move, and somebody rocking the car, you know. Oh, it was a new experience for me to how to make movie, you know.
Keep them up and don't try any tricks.
Even more impressive were Bruce's fight scenes.
They have to slow the camera down because it's too fast. So he bragged about that.
George, Bruce, Alan, and James called themselves the Four Musketeers. James trained with Bruce and helped him write his first book, Chinese Kung Fu, The Philosophical Art of Self-Defense. George customized Bruce's famous nunchucks by tapering the sticks, while Alan helped Bruce achieve his amazing physique with weight training.
My father did not have much experience with that, actually. He was a martial artist, but he did mostly martial arts techniques and didn't do a lot of cross-training, if you will, you know, weights and cardio and that kind of stuff, and really looked to Alan for that.
I would say Alan gets almost all the credit because before Alan, Bruce was not interested in building his body at all. He didn't need to. But I guess as the years went on, he wanted to be a movie star. And when you're a movie star, you have to have the looks and also the body. Alan was actually the first person to give him a weight set. And once he did, Bruce Lee became like a madman because he really worked out. And Alan told me that every week Bruce Lee would pull up his shirt to show his abs or his chest and everything. And in most of the photos of Bruce in Seattle, you never see him without a shirt. But once he moved to Oakland, I would say half the photos are without a shirt because Bruce liked to show off.
You don't train him. He watch you what you do, and he modify what's good for him. For, you know, so I can see. But doing high rep, by doing high rep with lighter weights, because heavy weight do bulk. But you light weight with high rep, it's fast moving, hit you fast. Say, a good offense, a good defense, because when you do defense, he already block you and he already hit you again, and this hand already hit you 1, 2, 3, 4. See, he hit you 4 times before you know it.
Bruce eventually moved back to Hong Kong, where he starred in several kung fu movies, before suddenly dying on July 20th, 1973. Just 6 days before the release of his biggest film, Enter the Dragon.
I still don't believe it, how he died. 73 he died. He said, Alan, you come on down, then we come home and we go ahead, lunch. And then the next day say, hey, better cancel that. Next time I come to Northern California, see I got some problem in Hong Kong. So I have to go back. So that's the last time I heard from him.
Upon Bruce's death, Alan made a vow to look after Linda and her family.
She knew me for over 50 some odd years. So that's my extended family right now.
Bruce passed away in '73, and Alan, from that day forward, has always been right there for me. He is truly my uncle, and he takes care of me. He watches out for me. He's always calling and say, you okay? Everything okay? Do I need to come down there and help you out? You know, he's always been really interested in my and my children's welfare.
To this day, you know, I'll just get a random phone call from him. Hi, it's Uncle Alan, and he just wants to know how we're doing. He's always been that way. Who he is as a human being is really what makes him, and he's a quality human being, which is why he was friends with my father.
Alan served on the board of the Bruce Lee Foundation, along with Linda and her daughter Shannon.
How can I express myself totally and completely?
The Bruce Lee Foundation seeks to preserve Bruce's legacy and to pass it on to future generations. His physical martial arts, and even more so his philosophy of life. And so all of his books and his writings have been preserved, and my daughter Shannon, she runs the foundation, and she wishes to, we all wish to preserve Bruce's legacy for the benefit of generations to come.
Be water, my friend.
I got that in England. I found this picture.
Alan's office is full of Bruce Lee memorabilia. He was often interviewed about his friendship with the legendary martial artist. But there's no doubt the most important person in his life was his wife Annie. In January of 2018, they celebrated their 72nd wedding anniversary.
Who's this,
Oh,
Daddy?
you know, we fight every day. Like I said before, women always have the last word, right? Okay, whether they're right or wrong. It takes two to argue, right? So let them say the last word, and you shut up. There's no more argument. But next morning you wake up, everything's happy.
For most of his 94 years, Alan devoted his life to exercise. It took him on an amazing journey, from helping him find a wife to becoming a champion bodybuilder, a martial arts grandmaster, and a mentor to Bruce Lee.
Exercising. I don't care, young or old, we're never too old to get started. Health is wealth. That's the main thing, you know. If you got no health, no matter how much money, you cannot buy health. So what good is money when you have no health? So enjoy your life and just follow your dream.